I don't know. I thought maybe I'd try to freeze. Oh, you know what I didn't do?
Camera order?
Yeah, camera order. Let's do that real quick. James, Pondo, Cotton, Red. So James is already first. Boom. We're good. We're there. I thought I would freestyle an intro, but now that we're here, I don't really feel like it. So we've arrived. There'll be announcements. But then again, those of you that skip the intros will have to listen to the announcements, and those of you that hear all of this will have to hear it again. So I'm just going to do it later. Yeah, I don't know. Freestyling intros. I can't get to it. Rad, what do you got? Just going to toss it over
everybody.
to you.
I'm Raddosaurus, and I'm excited to play Battletech tonight. And I've had a very average week. Well, no, I haven't actually. I've had a very unaverage week. We had an illness in the family, so that kind of turned our week all upside down. So I took a few days off work. Kids are at my folks' house. Everybody's doing okay now for the most. Well, everybody's in recovery at this point, so things are fine. But it's been a crazy week, so I've mostly just been focused on that. So I don't really have anything else going on. Been playing a little bit of Sea of Thieves, but that's it. Really, that's been the lion's share of my my week. Has been not family drama, but just focused on family wellness, perhaps we should say. That's it, really.
Some would say that.
That's all I got.
James, what do you got?
I am James, GrimdarkJames and Grimdark Podcasts. Yeah, I've had a pretty quiet week, to be honest. I've been watching you guys play some Sea of Thieves where I could, but I've actually been relatively tied up with work this week. So normally the streams are on during my work week, and I just, because I'm working from home now, it's easy to sort of watch it while working. But too many calls, too many Teams meetings, too many Zoom calls. Didn't get much of a chance. I finally finished the main story of Elder Scrolls Online. The game's only like 7 or 8 years old, but finally got around to doing that. Also, I tried to pull together Arthur's homework for this session. He said to think about what your characters might want to do in space for 9 months, and it sort of highlighted one of the elements for me about the Destiny system versus a time of total warfare, where because you only really have like 5 or 6 skills in Destiny, there's not a lot of room for like personal character skills. Like, so, like for example, we know that Black Rabbit is an artist, and I don't know, do you actually have a skill on your character sheet pertaining to that, or?
I have a skill containing to artistry, and I can do very little other things because of it.
Okay,
I sacrificed a lot for it, but I wanted to have it.
One of the things I actually thought was nifty about A Time of Total Warfare was the fact that when you were going through character creation, you'd get all these little skill points here and there that may not equal up to a skill, and you get the choice when the time comes. Do you let it go and cash those points in, or do you spend your points to have that skill? So when I had a friend making a Federated Suns character, Federated Suns characters all start with like 10 points in an art skill, and he's like, well, I don't want any art skills. All I want is mech shooty piloting skills. And I said, well, put some in there, you'll get those 10 points back. And so he put in something like, I don't know, like play piano as an art skill, and then got his 10 points back. And it's like, okay, well, when you're a kid, your parents make you go and learn the piano, but a lot of people go, you know what, I don't want that skill anymore, and they just forget about it. Or alternatively, you can cash points to that and actually have that skill. And I feel like probably one thing Destiny's missing is character depth beyond the core mechanics of the game to a degree. Or like, if you want to go with a deeper character, you're going to miss out on the core stuff that means you can do the focal point of the game well. That's my diatribe. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Yeah,
I agree.
Cotton, as long as we're talking about you, let's talk about you.
Hi, I'm Cotton. I doodle and stuff. Pondo got me an early birthday present, and it's a swanky new tablet, and I really like it, and it's so fancy. It came with a glove.
Ooh.
I mean, the glove is too big, but it's a glove, and it came with
Okay,
it.
Michael Jackson, calm down over there.
It also came with a fancy holder just for my pen.
Nice.
It's so fancy.
Do the black fingers do something different to the white fingers in the glove? Like there a reason there?
It's a screen tablet, so it's to help keep you from smudging this screen.
Okay.
Very nice.
It's so fancy. That's all I got. I was sleeping until Pondo woke me up. So, it might take me a bit to wake up. That's all.
Speaking about Pondo, let's talk to Pondo.
I am Pondo. I haven't done much. I haven't really done much since Saturday, even before last Thursday. I've kind of been just working on some 9th edition stuff for 40k. I post up a potential first drat for a list. And then today I made a salamanders list as a mainly joke list because I have I took the one character that's worth 300 points, so it's almost a quarter of the army. Yeah. No, I
Look, you
really
just need
done
my
much.
guy, okay? You just need
Unfortunately,
he makes every list better.
Unfortunately, well, actually,
That guy could be in the center of a column of Tyranids and make them all better as well.
I don't know how that works. I think it still costs command points.
Drakari army? He inspires them to victory.
I didn't want to go with Ultramarines. Kind of like the fluff of the Salamanders, to be perfectly honest. A lot of it is pyromania, to be honest.
Is that your thing? You like setting stuff on fire? Did Cotton just look over at you while smiling? That makes me worried.
I really haven't messed with fire at all. I don't know why she's looking at me.
I like the fluff stuff, like pyromania.
Yeah. I also was slightly alarmed at that.
Setting things on fire. If I was really like the fire fanatic, I'd be taking some mechs with a lot of flamers, alright? I haven't done that yet. No, that's been my week, pretty much.
Okay.
Work and stuff.
Wow, short intros. Going back to those Raddosaurus rules intros. Get over here. All right.
Wait, did we leave the Raddosaurus rules intros?
Yeah.
Because I thought we were supposed to be still doing them short.
No. I mean, look, Raddosaurus rule intros are where we start the show within 10 seconds. But then we stopped doing that because people were very upset about it. And so now my plan is to try to steer people towards very short intros, which never works. But you try your best. You get very passive aggressive with them on Cyberpunk about it.
I remember for Pokemon, we used to have really short ones, and then we'd eventually just got really long
the
ones,
longer it went on, the longer the intros became. Yeah.
which was funny.
I mean, the problem was the length between episodes increased. It used to be we would have an episode every week, and then it was an episode every 2 weeks, then it was one every month. And all right, so look, here's the thing that's going down, guys. We don't know when Rad is leaving, so we're no longer canceling a Time of Total Warfare hiatus time. We will continue as per normal. I'm going to see if we can get Eric Plagaris in here. Glima will show up at literally any time. I don't know what we're going to do for an overlay. We might just not do a overlay because it's, I mean, 7 people is a lot of people.
Yeah.
So one way or another, we'll be moving forward for as long as we can, as long as we've got Rad. The other thing to note is that this episode takes place in between 2 books from the Battletech series Twilight of the Clans. It takes place during the novels Sword and Fire and Shadows of War. I was really really going to name this episode Shadows of War, even though it would break up with the Daft Punk naming theme I've been doing for a while. Instead, it was initially going to be called The Long Dark because we would not be meeting for like 8 weeks. So I thought The Long Dark was an appropriate name, but I didn't learn until, a couple of minutes before we started streaming that Rad would be here, maybe, probably, but possibly not. This is just how life goes, guys. So it's still called The Long Dark, and Daft Punk is no longer the way we name episodes. So, is there anything else I need to cover? I don't think so. When Rad leaves, there will be at least one night of me facing down with Cottontailed at a game of Armello, I suppose. That's
I like that game.
That's all I have. This is the 92nd episode of Battletech, A Time of Total Warfare. Just for those keeping reference at home. And the very first thing we hear in this episode is the drop ships, like master circuit. The 1MC goes off and we hear like a dun dun dun, and everyone in the local area goes ugh, and someone goes, it's Tuesday, December 15th, 3059, 1200 hours. It's been 24 hours since we arrived in system and 144 until the next jump. This is Adept Palev of the CSV Discerning Valor. The fleet will be serving beef stroganoff today. Tomorrow, Friday, will be curry at lunchtime throughout the fleet as per Star League regulations. And you hear like a brief cheer through the corridors go, yay! Tonight, yet another screening of the Commander Star League prequel. Check on your jump ship for electronic copies of the newest comic series. And then we hear like some more military jargon before it fades out, and then we hear another bing bong bing, and someone goes, and this is your particular dropship checking in, not just the fleet ship. The captain is currently off the boat. That is all. So where do we find our heroes several months into your voyage through the Long Dark? You are past the edge of the inner sphere's knowledge of interstellar explorations. You've gone beyond even Comstar's limited knowledge of what is beyond the edge of the small fraction of stars that are filled with humanity. Now, of course, you realize you'll reach the clans eventually, but every system you enter, there is nothing. It's just a sun, and that is it.
Are we spending most of our time on the dropship or on the jump ship?
That's a great question. So there are very strict regulations about moving between jump ships. You have to schedule it so that each jump ship only is consuming a certain amount of temperature, oxygen, food, that sort of deal. But you are free to move throughout the fleet as regards to that if you end up back on your personally assigned dropship at the end of that journey. So like small shuttlecraft are making constant runs all across the fleet. There's some very serious traffic control concerns between that and the aerospace patrols, making sure no one attacks.
But you can enter the jump ship you're umbilical to from the drop ship, though.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And some people spend almost all their time on their jump ship. Other people spend all their time on their drop ship. Some people spend all their time moving between ships on the fleet. For instance, the captain of your particular vessel, Commander Melissa Crossroads, is almost always off the vessel and only returns for her duty hours and for jumps.
Okay. So I guess two questions would be, does the jump ship we're umbilical to have a gravity deck? And are there other drop ships also connected to this jump ship?
Yes, you are on the Comstar vessel, the CSV Discerning Valor, and it does have a gravity deck, and there are 3 drop ships attached to it. It's 2 of the other 2 drop ships are completely empty of personnel beyond skeleton crews because they're a collier ship, and the other one is a information ship. It's just giant banks of computer data from which all human knowledge are being drawn and disseminated through the fleet.
Okay, so there's limited other people to go and meet as such on the...
Correct.
Yeah, okay.
But you can go to any other jump ship, drop ship, warship combination in the fleet.
So I think that from Medusa's point of view, after commenting about the ludicrousness of serving curry in zero gravity, yeah, she'll probably be, I mean, spending as much time as possible in gravity on the jump ship. Like, I don't know if they have, like, you know, exercise, especially for 9 months in space, like, you know,
yes,
keeping up exercise.
There's a mandatory exercise regime, but a lot of soldiers are, especially Mechwarriors, are going way beyond that.
Yeah. But if there is like a social, I don't if anyone tries to organize, like, you know, this jump ship is where people actually go to socialize or to.
There are several such locations throughout the fleet for socialization.
Okay.
None of them are Capellian. So the Capellian contribution to Bulldog has basically walled itself off from the rest of the fleet, with the exception of the Canopians. Unsurprisingly, the Canopian jump ship, very popular.
More than once. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, so more than once, I'm going to try and wrangle other people into going over to like one of these other jump ships, just so it's not just like one person wanting to take a shuttle.
Yeah, exactly. You want to get a group bus.
Yeah.
You know,
that's right. Yeah.
Go check out the culture on the other ships, right? Yeah. Okay. Who are you gonna grab?
I mean, anyone from the unit. Like, I think the player characters are all open. So that, I mean, even certainly at some point, Medusa's going to want to try and bury the hatchet with Billy. But other than that, I'm happy to grab PCs, NPCs as well. Anybody that was like, it's more about having a weight of numbers than it is about hanging out with these people specifically.
How often are we jumping?
Once every 168 hours, 7 days.
Okay, all right, gotcha.
You are deploying the sail on arrival and fully recharging and then immediately jumping.
Okay. Got it.
Basically, it's absolute hell for you.
Right, I want to say, so there's a 3-day block that Butch McGirt doesn't do anything. He doesn't socialize with anybody.
During, and after the jump?
Correct, yes.
You're not the only one.
It's like, it's his 3-day vacation, so to speak, where he's basically put on medical leave to sit in his room and be himself, by himself. And then every Tuesday, he hosts Taco Tuesday on our dropship, where he has his ranch hand with like a big sombrero on it, and it's like little guns on it that shoot tacos out of people. And Billy plays like Fiesta themed Sleemow, and we have a party on our dropship every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, and everybody in the fleet is invited.
Speaking of, Billy spends almost all his time working on a Omni-Mech conversion for the Centurion.
Sick.
He's trying to like invent a way to make the Centurion modular.
He's trying to come up with pod space.
Yeah, exactly.
With intersphere pod space. Okay.
Yeah. He's using his expertise as a custom mech designer and as a clan weapons expert. Nice. It's not going well right now. There's a lot of, like, every 4 days he shows up with dark circles under his eyes and gets some coffee and is just like, fucking son of a bitch.
Well, Tuesday is his day off where he comes and DJs for Taco Tuesday.
If you invite Billy to go do things, Medusa, he will go with you.
Okay. Certainly, if I learn that Billy's working on an Omni-Mech conversion for the Centurion, I have an idea I want to run by Billy and Butch. So I'll try and grab those two at some point once I become aware of that.
All right. Where do you want to go in the fleet on your shuttle run?
Probably. It doesn't matter so much where it is as long as there's other people there.
Okay. So there are some very popular jump ships, but the warships are also incredibly popular because they're way more spacious and they have massive gravity decks and are specifically meant to hold lots and lots of people. So you find yourself on one of the Novacat, formerly Novacat, captured by the Star League warships that are assigned to Task Force Bulldog. And you can see people walking around with tablets that read the Commander Star League prequel, Episode 5, First Sergeant Merrick, Beyond the Chivalric Code. And it's like a younger version of Butch McGurk wearing a full purple bodysuit with the Merrick Eagle. He doesn't have the shield of Dr. Bonsai, the shield of the Star League that rests all of humanity's hopes on. Yet this is the young Professor Xavier, essentially. And yeah, there's a lot of talk. So Commander Star League is kind of popular among the fleet, but also some people treat it exactly like Captain America is treated in the Captain America movie when he goes to Germany and he puts on the show and everybody's just like, what the fuck is this shit? So, people who have a sense of humor enjoy Commander Star League, and people who don't are just like, this is the most massive waste of time I've ever read. That's what the three of you step off of your shuttle onto the warship's docking bay into. Is people walking around talking about that. They're talking about whether or not they're going to see the prince today. Some people are talking about, in fact, Lady Lockwood, who is, of course, Selena Lockwood. There are rumors that Selena Lockwood is some sort of secret dignitary undercover with a mercenary unit in the fleet. And she's about to, after Bulldog is over, she's going to return home after a long covert mission for the Canopians. And there's a lot of talk about her because she was spotted having several meetings with the Magistrix heir. So when people see all of you with your unit tags, they stop talking about someone in your unit and float away and then resume whispering once you're out of earshot. So Billy's just looking around and he's just like, yeah, wow, incredible. What a warship. What a warship. Same one we saw last week. Week before that. Pinnacle of human creation. He's floating on his back, like an otter sailing down a river. He's floating on his back in zero gravity, moving listlessly.
What's wrong, Billy? What's the problem?
He's just like, it's just really hard to design an Omni-Mech from scratch. Even just normally I'd have a whole design team and a warehouse. It's not like we've got AutoCAD for Omni-Mechs.
I actually, I heard that you were working on that. I had a suggestion I wanted to throw at the two of you if you got the time. Chief, you mind?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, reading about some of the Omni-Mechs we've captured from the clans, some of them get fitted with handholds for their elementals, right? I mean, the Chief's mechs are made to get into combat pretty fast, and we've got elementals in our battle group. Is it worthwhile trying to make similar modifications to your mechs, Chief, like to the King Crab, to the Centurion? I mean, you're going to be up in their face pretty quickly. You can
like where your head's at as he puts a hot dog inside of a hard shelled taco and takes a bite out of
it. Billy's just like, listen, you have to calm down with those tacos. They're not going to last until Huntress if you eat them at this rate.
You're not the boss of me.
So he's accidentally introduced a roll to himself, so now he's traveling at an angle, but he's also rolling at the same time. He's like, wait, I'll come back around in a second, just wait, hold on. He says, I'm not the boss of you, I'm your partner. And what I'm telling you is, if you want to keep having hot dogs, you need to ration them, or no, wait, sorry, it's gonna take a couple seconds.
By the time he comes back around, Butch is he's taken the taco with the single bite out of it and saved it for later, but he's finishing just the hot dog weighty by itself. He's like, if you knew how many of these I brought, you wouldn't be thinking I was going to run out of them.
Listen, Butch, there's a concern in the fleet that we're going to run out of both food and water before we get there. We have to hope we find a planet with enough of either to restock along the way.
He takes the half-eaten hot dog and just tucks it in his shirt pocket. He's like, fine.
You need like a little hand vacuum cleaner to get all those crumbs out of the sky as well. You can eat those later.
Yeah.
He just waves them away. They just float away. And
Yeah, so
Zero
there's
grab.
definitely a naval rating nearby who gets a hand vac and is now like maneuvering through the area to suck it all up. He's
somebody's
staring.
just been assigned to him.
No, he's staring daggers at you, but he notices
Which
your
doesn't
rank
notice.
bars and can't do anything about it. So
He doesn't
it's
notice
just
at all.
intense glaring. Billy turns and whispers loudly enough for Butch to hear, but conspiratorially towards Carolyn, like, you have no idea what his cockpit's like. It's like, I've seen pictures of Howler's cockpit when he first joined the unit. It's like that. It's bad. Listen, I'll get you some photos. I'll send them to you.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Everything
I
has its place, goddammit.
I think I can imagine the complete opposite of mine.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, Billy's installed a custom hot dog cooker in your mech that's also thermally insulated, so it will cook a hot dog without overcooking it when you're in combat.
I mean, I think, look, in my world, Butch has many things, but first and foremost, he's an old soldier, so I don't think he would have a messy cockpit, but it's funny, so I'm just gonna let Arthur have this one. I think that's pretty cool.
I would say if you eat hot dogs continuously in your cockpit, you're gonna end up with breadcrumbs somewhere.
It also probably smells like sweat, like you wouldn't
Yes.
even believe, because
Yeah.
of how hot it is in there, like all of
Yeah.
the time. It's probably got a lot of like fans that are just like welded to all these different angles.
That's not how.
So it looks like the inside of a computer case. It's
That's
got like
not
all these tubes with freon running through them and fans blowing off of them.
Because moving heat helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. Billy's probably told him a lot of times like this is stupid, but he's just sold on the fact that fans matter.
It's probably Billy gave you a discussion about how wicking the sweat away
Yeah.
would give you a minuscule effect, but that the heat of running the fans.
Yeah. Yeah. Would counteract
counteracts it.
any good that they would do at all. I feel like on several occasions he's tried to convince Billy to drill like speed holes in the glass of the cockpit.
Billy would
Billy's been
absolutely be like, no.
absolutely not.
No. As you all are floating around, you can see that there's like profiles and courage playing on all of the monitors nearby. Like everywhere you go on this warship, there are panels, and it's just like members of the fleet and the things that they've done during the clan invasion, rotating through them. I mean, there's tens of thousands of people here, so there's a lot to go through, and it just plays on a loop all day, every day. One of the things that they have here on this particular warship is a beach deck for something equivalent to, gosh, what are they called? Those things that you pump up with water and then you shoot people with? Cannot
Super
remember
guns?
what they're called.
Water gun?
Super soaker?
Yes, water super soaker. Yes, they have a super soaker deck. That's essentially just like potable. It's not drinkable water, but it's potable, right? Like it's healthy to be in. You won't die from being in it. And people just basically have open to space, right? A completely transparent window and a super soaker, that deck, period, end of story. That's all it is. So it's very popular in the fleet right now. In fact, most of the elemental members, like any elementals that have been taken, end up becoming like the expert marksmen in that environment.
So this is like space paintball? Is that
Yes,
what
it's
it
space
is?
paintball on a warship in space.
With water. Okay.
Yep. There's a specific name for that sport, but I cannot remember it, unfortunately.
Is this in the gravity deck or is this in 0G then?
It is on a gravity deck that sometimes they stop and make a 0G.
Okay.
But because the environment is fully sealed, they're not worried about the water bouncing around at all.
Sounds pretty cool.
Currently, it is active and accepting parties, and it is in gravity deck mode, so all of the water is on the outside of the ship, and all of the players like swim through it like otters. I'm really doing otter imagery tonight. So I'm big on it.
If you episode title you missed there, opportunity.
Yeah. The Otters We Missed. Sounds like my great American novel.
I know. Is that of any interest to you, Chief? Billy?
Billy's
Yeah.
just like, no.
Yeah, I already signed us up.
Billy's like, I'll spot you from the outside or from the inside of the ship.
Listen, I reach in a pocket and I pull out like a napkin and I hand it to him. And when he unfolds it, there's this crudely drawn drawing of 2 stick figures that are obviously Butch McGurk because one has like a giant mustache drawn on it, and the other one is Billy because it's got like, I don't know, a chain with a big $$ sign on the front or some Flavor Flav shit that like Billy would wear. And it's,
I just did that on Rogue Trader.
And it's got stick figure Butch McGurk with like a giant fucking water gun and then a hose that goes from that water gun to a giant water backpack that the Billy stick figure wears. Like he's wearing a giant water tank and Butch McGurk has like a giant
yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Water gun.
Yeah, I was going to say cruise water gun, yeah.
Billy is like, okay.
And Butch is just like, preliminaries are next Tuesday or next Wednesday. So you got a little bit of time.
Okay, I'll work on it.
And then like down in the corner, there's another little stick figure with a cowboy hat with like flies and stink lines coming off. No, I'm just kidding.
It's 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys play water gun sports for a while. Billy is very bad and loses easily, constantly.
He builds himself a sick riot shield though. So he just gets drug around by Butch like with a shield.
I feel like he is the shield.
Yeah, he just walks in front of Butch while Butch stands behind him with a big gun. And I get like my other teammates are Medusa and like Pavel or something like that. They're always like running out trying to flank people.
I feel like Pavel's thing would be to stay as far back as possible. That's just, try to arc it on the gravity deck, right? Just
him and 2 of his crewmen are like the slingshot water balloon guys.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that during the game, somebody that you've just shot is like laying in the water as you walk near him, and he's like, "Listen, I really hope that your artillerymen are better on the ground than they are at this game because they are bad."
We wouldn't be here if they weren't. Let's load up the Sims and see for yourself. Right? I'm sure that's a thing too, right? Like
yeah.
You can sim against other units.
Yes. So in fact, your unit has been tasked by the fleet commander to do exactly that. You guys are the referees for other units.
Yeah,
that's what Bandito's been doing.
Yeah, so when you guys watch other units playing and you make adjustments like, no, the clans would never do this.
I feel like Butch tries to get Black Rabbit in on the water gun fights, but basically turns her into like a Splatoon character and constantly dyes her water like all kinds of bright, vibrant colors. So whenever she shoots people, they turn like purple or orange, and she probably gets like banned the first time. Actually, we probably run it, right? Aren't we in charge of all the entertainment?
No, but you are in charge of the media entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Gotcha. Yeah.
Black Rabbit.
We stream all of our water gun antics.
Do you, in fact, water gun?
Pogs in chat.
Can I get a sniper rifle water gun?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's not any better than any other water gun, but
it makes me feel
it
better.
deals exactly 4 water damage.
It's a paintball gun. It's a paintball gun with water pellets.
I want some water balloons too, so I feel like I have like grenades to throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
She's got a vest with all these water balloons that go all the way down the front.
Your matches are very popular among the fleet. You've become a figure of like Canopian-ness. People go on long discussions about whether your ears are real or not, whether you need them to hear.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's out there living her life, and all people want to talk about is how she looks.
Yeah, yes. So it's a fleet full of soldiers.
Sounds right. Exactly.
I didn't think this one would be too far off the mark.
Nope.
Have we ever established does Black Rabbit actually have like regular vestigial earlobes or not?
She does, but you can't see them under her hair usually. Okay. They have a lot of piercings in them if you do see them.
while everybody else is having fun, let's cut over to Major Vincent Gray. Your latest simulation has ended. The 10th Lyran Guards just got done absolutely fucking destroying the local Capellian contingent, who each of the company commanders appears to have a different factional affiliation within the Capellian Confederation, and so working together does not do so well for them. And the 10th Lyran Guards are essentially like the best unit in all of Lyran space. So they stomp those guys up real good very quickly. And the Capellians are all complaining to you that the Lyrans are cheating and hacking using their money to bribe you, the referee, that this is all a political scheme to make the First Lord Sun Tzu Liao look bad. You've got 9 people arguing with you essentially at the same time, and all of them hate each other as much as they hate you.
Can I make them an offer saying that I will,
They can't refuse.
that they will not refuse? That I'll lead the Capellians in the next bout against the Lyrans.
Wow, you're definitely
order to
100%
prove
gonna
that
need to
it's-
make a roll on this.
In order to prove that it's not what they think. What do I need to roll?
Well, the first thing is they're never going to let you just lead them for absolutely no reason. They want to know that you have the valorous characteristics of a Capellian citizen. So
As a
they don't
free-world
know
citizen,
anything about you. And the thing is, right now the Capellians are undergoing a sort of cultural revolution. Their leader, Sun Tzu Liao, was elected the first lord of the new Star League, the Second Star League. They generally consider themselves better than everybody else. They fall back to sort of Confucian models of respect for one's elders. But on top of that, it's less Chinese and more of Capellian-centric, like politeness, respect for society, following the rules and order. And in general, Bandito, word has gotten around that that is not you.
That's fair. He would more so speak about his military achievements rather than
Hey,
his lineage, as in
Alright.
his experiences. Essentially, what makes him a veteran and more age into this task.
make a leadership roll. I'm gonna give you a
Okay.
difficulty of 14.
Okay, I got a
If you're
plus 5.
successful, you will convince the Capellian company
Alright,
commanders to follow you.
I can't spend a edge or anything. Can I? Plot point? Plot point.
You can use edge to re-roll.
I'm re-rolling it.
Really,
Okay,
you want to re-roll double sixes? That's a tough call. You sure?
No, I had double ones. I'm re-rolling 2 double sixes.
Oh,
Plus 5, so 17.
all right. So you start listing your military campaign, which is essentially from the beginning of the clan war to right now, and the Capellians are like, "What the shit is this?" So the Capellians have basically not fielded any units besides this one against the clans before. Their military contributions have been negligible, essentially. And so when you're like, yeah, I fought here, here, and here, you know, Kolovrati, Kor, several other locations, and they like stop and begin speaking Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, which you don't speak, amongst each
Absolutely
other.
not.
Yeah. And then one of them goes, "We will allow you to direct our efforts as a honored observer during the next training session. In the spirit
Oh.
of mutual cooperation, in order to learn your unique bandit strategies."
Excellent. Now get back in the cockpits.
All right, so yeah, the 10th Lyran Guards, 2nd Battalion, indicate their readiness to redo the exercise, and yeah, do you have gosh, is tactics a thing in Destiny? It was in the other game, but
Yes, it is.
yeah,
I do
let's
have
make a
tactics.
tactics roll.
Okay. I got another +5.
I'm going to
to
give you a
this.
-1 because you're leading a unit that's not yours and they don't particularly like you.
So 7 + 5 is 12.
All right, so the Capellians lose, but you do manage to get them to work together for like the first 2/3 of the fight. I want you to imagine, you know how in opening Battletech, it's like lots of 3 or 4 rounds of just movement before you get into the shooting part. You get them to work together during that part, and then in the opening shooting phase, works pretty well. And then right around, you know, damage starts going down, some Capellian units are like, okay, this is the time where we retreat and pull them after us. Others are like, don't worry, we're gonna go flank. And so where once there was a beautiful line with reserves, there's now just like 4 islands of Capellians with holes in them, and the 10th Lyrans are just surrounding the Capellians and firing at them from all directions. However, they, instead of being completely shut out, they do a lot better this time around. However, the 10th Lyran guards are, again, much, much better than these guys.
They're more experienced, yeah.
Yes. I mean, they have better Battlemechs to start with. And then they're the premier unit with the best pilots.
I was gonna guess that they're using similar Battlemechs, not like their personal ones.
No, the 10th Lyran
rota-
guards are using almost all Omnimechs.
Is there a rotational schedule where each of these units in this task force face us in like clan mechs where we fight like clan?
So you never fight as the clans
Mechwarriors?
because there's a designated force to do exactly that.
Who's doing that?
Comstar brought elements of Invader Galaxy, which is a massive unit that Comstar cultivated that does their only job for the last 10 years has been to pretend to be clans.
Okay, all right, cool.
But you guys are of course invited as yourselves to join simulations. It's a little bit harder for some members of your unit. Elemental battlesuits can be hooked up to the computers, but artillery is a lot harder to simulate. So basically, like a referee has to be like, all right, this would hit or this would not hit, essentially.
Gotcha.
It should be noted that among all of the units, you guys have one of the heaviest, for your unit size, contingents of artillery, like way more Arrow 4 missile launchers than anybody but the Draconis contingent, who are just getting into, let's use Arrow 4s and C3 computers to accomplish all of our goals. So Bandito, you've been getting a lot of reports about your unit, and after you complete the exercise, another fresh stack lands on your desk. So you step out of the simulator covered in sweat. You've just lost again after having directed a bunch of people whose first language isn't English, and they don't particularly like you, and they don't really want to acknowledge that you're better than them, even though you are. The very top of the stack is that Rapier Jeeves, aka Rapier, Lieutenant Commander Rapier, is in the brig again for belligerent drunken behavior.
Oh, Jesus.
And you've been hearing that several either current or former members of mercenary units throughout the fleet have taken to beating the shit out of Blake Oakwood whenever they see him. So his call sign is Torch. He was caught sleeping with one of the Kellhound's commanding officers, their daughter, and then he skipped out, went to the edge of the galaxy, and joined the Crow's Black. The thing is, he's pretty famous for doing, like, basically, you know, knocking up a girl and then running away. You know him particularly because he insists that micro lasers and small lasers are the optimal weapon aboard Battlemech platforms. Basically, it's difficult for him to go anywhere without somebody recognizing him and trying to beat the hell out of him. The MPs also will not, like, they don't break up fights where he's involved in. They've gotten word that he's kind of just a giant piece of shit, and you know, it's like, oh no, my lunch break. Just started. I'll be back in 5, guys.
Well,
So this is like the 5th report from both of these guys you've gotten over the last 2 months.
well, one guy I know is easy fix. He's just limit his time outside anywhere. The other guy being Rapier, I'm not. I guess I could. Is he in the brig currently?
Yes.
Okay.
On your very ship, in fact.
What's he in the brig for?
Belligerent alcoholism.
Okay,
He's
disorderly conduct.
Yeah, floating around drunk.
I guess I'll go see what's the deal with Rapier,
All right.
and hopefully he's not currently drunk.
Rapier is currently drunk. He is singing the parts of whatever the 3050 version of Margaritaville are, but only the parts he can remember. So like 1 word out of every 2 lines. There's like sponge cake, sunbake.
That's all right.
It's 0 gravity, so he's just kind of like, there's a cocoon that he can sleep in instead of a bed, and he's just got like 1 foot hooked in the cocoon, and he's swinging like a pendulum off the walls, doing like push up on the wall, then rotating and doing push up on the wall he moves into. A lot easier to do push ups in 0 gravity.
Rapier, what's going on?
Rapier's just like, hey, Major, how's it going?
Why are you in here again?
I mean, you know, just having some problems with some of the boys on one of their jump ships, man.
What's with all the heavy drinking?
What else are we gonna do? We got 7 more months of this, sir. Christmas is in 2 weeks. You know, what are we gonna do at Christmas?
Celebrate?
I don't know, man. I think I've got space madness. Heard it's real.
I think your issue is you have alcoholism madness.
That's not a thing.
Alcoholism is. I think you got it.
Alcoholism madness definitely isn't. Listen, man, it's fine, Major. Okay, it's fine.
What?
Look,
Why are you
it's-
drinking so much?
It's I'm winning alcohol rations off of people in card games. Okay, pretty easy.
Doesn't mean you should use them all at once.
I mean, trust me, sir. I'm not. I'm just that good at cheating at cards.
Fair enough.
Listen, sir. I have to tell you. Many of the military units that have joined us are the most distinguished in the inner sphere. Upright and forthright soldiers who are very easy to confuse and trick with if you deal from the bottom of the deck. Like they've never met somebody like me before. It's so easy.
I can greatly imagine.
Look, someone told me I shouldn't be doing this thing when I'm like a lieutenant commander, but
Yeah.
yeah?
That's precisely it.
Was that you?
I was probably one of them, yes.
Okay.
When you sober it up and are released, you just come see me at my office.
He just keeps doing push-ups. Doesn't say anything.
Okay. All right. Well,
It's good, man. Push-ups are important.
I don't think they're doing much.
As you
0G.
know, the quality of a man can be judged by the number of push-ups he's capable of doing.
Damn straight.
In 0G, that's a lot. Just gonna leave him be
Okay.
and think about having the talking to with Oak.
All right. When you think about having it, is your thought, I am or I am
I guess
not?
I'll have him sent to my office at some point.
All right. So he has to transfer from Crow's Black's jump ship over to the Discerning Valor. And when he gets there, he, like, as soon as he steps off the shuttle, he like looks around to make sure no one's about to jump him. Then he salutes you and he says, "Yes, sir. Torch arriving."
What's this I hear about you getting jumped down?
Just some small problems with personnel, sir. Differences in culture. Nothing you need to worry about. I was trying to tell them about how the ER small laser is the superior weapon of choice, and they decided to answer my clearly superior scientific knowledge with their fists.
I believe it's a different reason than that, but...
Are you sure? Sir, I've done the pleasure of drawing up a alternative loadout for your Wolverine.
That's great. I'm here to talk about your hit and run tactics. I don't mean your mech tactics.
I agree. My hit and run... Listen, the hit and run tactics
I don't mean your mech tactics.
He says, sir, this is a personal problem between myself and a few other members of this fleet. I would hate for you to get involved as such a high-ranking officer. And
I get involved by being sent the paperwork saying that you've been beat up because someone else did not like the fact that... My only request is that you try to keep as low profile as possible and not hang out with the other people.
Sir, are you ordering me to not hang out with other people? You are ordering me to quarantine?
Just stay close to our unit.
Can I get that order in writing, sir?
I will get you that order in writing if it means I don't have to get another report of you getting beat up by someone random.
Understood. Right. Free to go?
Yes.
He gives you like one of those Vietnam go fuck yourself salutes.
I hope this gets your shot.
And turns and gets back on the shuttle that's it's just finished unloading people and is now loading people for a trip back.
All right.
Probably. You solved an entire day's work in just a few hours.
Well, the rapiers thing is probably still a problem. That's the point.
Somewhere right around now that we cut back to Butch McGurk, Selena Lockwood, and Carolyn Hauser, plus several members of the NPC cast coming out of the water tag session.
Triumphant.
Billy looks kind of like he's never used his abdomen this much before. And it's just, like his hair had to be dried before he could leave the deck. But other than that, his whole body is just like, oh God. Oh boy.
I cackle and slap him on the back.
It's a good thing you can't get sunburned in the grab deck.
You can't?
We do not have the heat of an entire sun on board this jump ship, sir.
But there's a sun right there, isn't there?
Yeah, wait, I like when you gesture to it. He's just like, we're behind radiation shielding.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You would have sunburn all of the time, which would literally just be nothing but sunburn, always.
He's just like, who would have thought? And he just walks off.
Billy's like, fuck this. I'm gonna go get, I don't know, tortillas.
You look a little rough, Billy.
No, thank you, Selena. I'm sorry, Lady Lockwood. Lady Doctor Lockwood. My apologies. He says as he just floats away, again, on his back backwards, like breaststroking through zero gravity away from you. It does nothing, but it looks like he's swimming away from you. But then he introduces an accidental roll and starts rolling again.
I'm gonna make sure he's okay. I'll catch you later.
So you're just left with Pavel Radzik and his guys, and Pavel's just like, we do not talk so much, I think. You are Selena Lockwood?
Yeah, I don't think we ever actually talked to each other.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I haven't accidentally hit your mech with artillery, which is good. Many mech pilots get upset when we land short or long.
Shouldn't get close to your artillery.
Yeah, we tell them that, and they tell us to shut the fuck up.
Well, that's a bit rude.
You are very reasonable for Mechwarrior, especially for Fancy Lady Doctor.
Thanks.
Listen. I hear that maybe soon you retire?
I never said that.
Oh, no, I heard it in the news report.
What news report?
Oh, you have not been seeing news report? You are very famous. I would say
Why?
out of 24 hours a day, you get the full half hour every single day. People logging your activities and talking about you. Almost as much time as Prince Victor.
That's weird.
There is not a lot to do out here. And we are running low on vodka. So we are making more vodka. It takes a long time, though.
Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to run out.
We are definitely going to run out before we get...
But you can make more, right?
Yes, it takes very long time. And you can only make so much. Listen, we will add you to list. You come down to Tank Country, we give you a glass of vodka, huh?
That sounds like a fair deal.
Okay. We appreciate that. You're a very normal person for someone with, you know, giant ears. And
Is
doctoral
this normal
degree.
where I come from?
He like looks to his two guys and they're just like, ugh. He goes, where you come from is unique place full of unique culture and experience of pleasure.
You should visit there sometime. I bet you guys would have fun.
I was trying to aim for you to maybe hire us as a sort of personal bodyguards after you are done here. You know, we have been fighting clans with Crow's Black since like 30, 50-ish, and I am getting old and less drunk all the time. I want a retirement package.
Do they not offer one through here?
Retirement package around here does not include going to Madrasty of Canopus and acting as bodyguard. That's pretty good retirement package.
You know what? That's fair. When you guys retire, I'll put a good word for you in my ship.
Okay. So you are not you mean not back to Canopus, you mean we serve on Canopian pleasure ship. This is greatest honor of my entire life. He like kneels down in front of you, but it's 0G, so he just ends up like hitting his forehead, but he tries to grab for your hand to like kiss it. I mean, it basically ends up with his butt slamming into your face at some point.
You just told him he could retire on an intergalactic den of sin. Like an old dirty man's dream.
He was like, oh, my apologies, please do not withdraw offer. I will get you my business card and we will contact you on day of retiring.
Okay.
You have done me greatest honor of my entire life, Lady Lockwood. You are best person I have ever met besides Bandito.
I thought you guys just made fun of Bandito. I didn't know
We
you
make
guys were
fun
buddies.
of him a lot. We make fun of all of his life choices and imply humorous things about them. It is only because we are trying to loosen stick and butt.
That's fair.
I am worried. It has been, you know, so tightly wound up in there ever since I have met him. And at first I thought maybe it would come out, but no, I think it's getting further up there.
You know, I could see that. I invited him to a vacation on my pleasure cruise once, and he refused.
Incredible. I heard that you bought him a cowboy device.
Yeah, I bought him a mechanical bull.
Incredible. He is not worthy of your friendship. He is a good man, but he's a bad person. He's a bad friend. You know, he didn't talk to me for like an entire year. I am like his best friend.
Oh,
I
that's
have known
right.
him for very long.
I'll tell him he should talk to you guys more.
No, please. There is no need to get involved in internal matter between me and him. Do not worry, we will continue to offer him alcohol that he does not drink and continue to mock him with made-up rumors, which are very funny to us.
That's fair.
So he and his men leave while bowing to you, but again, the bows introduce a sort of forward roll.
I want to move out of the way.
Yes, they are very bad at zero gravity operations. And Pavel like grabs his two guys by the shoulder, and they form a sort of flying triple wing, which is easier to maneuver. And he says, "We are doing pretty good for 3 pirates beyond the edge of periphery. I think this is better than being shot by Ryan, yes?" And somebody else goes, "Yeah, boss, much better than being shot by Ryan."
I just give them a push in the direction to kind of help them out, whatever they're going.
Okay. You fly in the opposite direction when you push them.
That's okay.
Butch McGurk, on returning from your affair aboard the water gun warship, you see that there is a special shuttle docked to the jump ship that you're about to return to, the Discerning Valor. This particular shuttle is only used by one group in this entire fleet. It's the Word of Blake contingent. And when you arrive, there are 2 Word of Blake operatives standing beside Sir Daniel Savoy, aka Harbinger. One of them steps forward and says, Brother McGurk.
What's up, fellas?
Just who I was hoping to speak to. Can we walk and talk for a time?
Absolutely.
So he nods to Harbinger and
I don't
the
know
other
where Butch
operative.
McGurk is on his way to, but somewhere, I guess. I don't know.
Anywhere but talking to this guy, right?
I didn't care.
So this guy just like floats beside you and follows you along and says, I understand that you are amenable to the order of the Word.
I don't have anything against it. You know, people believe all kinds of stuff. Whatever gets you through this crazy ride.
Exactly. We're not looking to get a charitable contribution from you, but we would hope that we could save your soul from eternal damnation.
Well, you know, I've committed my body to the cause, but I think my soul will forever be a free agent.
But Blake can bring you so much higher. Through technology and intelligence, we can rise above the base human nature.
Well,
unity
technology,
and
and he kind of wiggles his mechanical fingers. He's like, technology and intelligence are something that I don't suffer from any shortage of. I'll tell you that. As he like floats into a wall and bumps his head, and he's like, oh.
So the man floating with you chuckles slightly. As he does, his robes kind of floof with the chuckling and the zero gravity, and he says, well, think about joining the order formally. We would love to baptize you and save your soul.
You know, I've had several women throughout my life tell me that I suffer from an inability to commit to things. And
me too.
Once upon a time, when I was young and stupid, I made the best mistake I ever made in my whole life, and I joined the military to prove them wrong. And look at where that's got me. And he just kind of gestures to like nowhere in particular. So, you know, if you got some kind of affiliate status or something like that, perhaps.
You want to start streaming under the Word of Blake team?
Yeah. I don't. I can't tell you that the chances of a full baptism and saves your situation is very high at this point. But I really do appreciate that you guys are here spreading a positive message. I think that's really important in this day and age.
So as you go around the corner with him, he says, well, perhaps a full conversion is not on the table. You have a very strong executive producership relationship with the Commander Star League writing team, do you not?
They accept some level of input from me, sure.
Perhaps if you were to introduce a Word of Blake character to Commander Star League's eclectic team, someone amenable but holy.
You know, Harbinger has always done right by me, and he's stood side by side with me in a pinch, and I think that's the least I could do for him. If that's something that he'd like to see happen, I can't make any promises, but I can bring it up.
I'm not asking on behalf of Brother Daniel. I'm asking on behalf of Blake.
Well,
and all of humanity.
That's fair enough, but I'm listening on behalf of Harbinger.
Perhaps you could introduce Harbinger as a character. I understand Commander Star League is...
I think that's a fantastic idea.
You
know what we need
yourself.
Is we need a wizard, perhaps with some sort of jewel of some kind, like an eye of technology or Blake or something, and he casts spells by wiggling his fingers and protects the realm from evil or something like that.
All right. I don't know if you've ever had this particular
Dr. Normal or something like that.
Have you ever seen a conversation between like a youth pastor and a kid who's just seen a movie and they want
that's what this is. 100%.
Yes. So his expression changes, but he's trying to maintain a neutral, like, this is fine, everything's fine, but inside he's desperately dying.
Well, so like McGurk is fully aware of what's happening here, right? Like, he hasn't gone this far through life without knowing that what this guy is looking for here. He's looking to leverage McGurk's status in favor of like a church, basically.
Yes, that's exactly what's trying to happen.
McGurk is purposefully leaning in to being the village idiot, which is obviously a mask that he dons very irregularly, because it introduces an opportunity to be underestimated constantly, which is what he has always capitalized on at every opportunity. Everywhere he goes, he acts like an idiot on purpose, and everywhere he goes, he absolutely dominates anybody that steps to him because they drastically underestimate his intelligence and his ability to perform. So there's a little bit of that going on. It's kind of like it's his default hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's laying it on a little thick, but he knows it. I don't know if this guy's like a really savvy guy, he could pick up on it. But yeah, McGurk is, he wants to see Harbinger as a ripoff Doctor Strange, essentially.
I picked up on
he's suggesting.
That. Yes. Mr. Normal, I believe.
Yeah. Professor Weird.
Professor Weird.
yeah.
Certainly.
Nurse practitioner oddball, perhaps, or
I would not tell another member of the Brotherhood of Humanity how to perform their job. I would only say that I would hope that this character speaks with the authentic reverence towards Blake.
Absolutely, I would.
In the tenets of the order.
No way to trivialize or satire what is obviously very important to you and my very good friend Harbinger. So you can certainly put your faith in me that your ideas here will be treated with the utmost respect.
Puts a hand on your shoulder, but as he does so, he pushes the
weird, like
he pushes the so like in a normal conversation, putting your hand on someone's shoulder would not cause the two of you to float in opposite directions. So he does it instinctively, but then it introduces a roll into the both of you, and so now you are moving in opposite directions while rolling away from each other. And he goes, some sort of satire should be necessary, of course. I would say I've not read the comic myself, but I understand its material is satirical. But it sounds like you have a proper reference for.
It's certainly tongue-in-cheek, but I understand. I at least have some shred of understanding of the nature of your order and belief system. And when I present this idea to the creatives that power this project, I will certainly impress upon them that it's not to be made a mockery of any for any reason.
Peace of Blake be with you, he says as he collides with a wall.
You too, cuz. And he also collides with a wall. And then it's like that awkward situation where they both need to go to the same direction, but they've already said goodbye. So McGurk just kind of pretends to inspect a bulkhead a little bit. And,
this guy keeps floating by. Like he reads the situation and understands that you want him to go ahead. So he does.
I unplugged my headphones, so I can't hear anything you're saying, but I'm sure it's pure gold.
Perfect. Excellent. I said absolutely nothing. He's not back yet. What I am going to say is we're going to go on break, and it's going to be a little longer than normal. So we'll be back in about 12 minutes for the second half, guys. Stick around.